Hey guys, can you hear me? You guys can hear me okay?
Yes,
I'm used to hearing all the background noise and I don't hear it on my end, so it's kind of weird. So guys, for those of you who don't know me, my name's Austen. Okay. It's very nice to meet you. And for those who do, hey, what's up? Good morning. I am going to just give everybody a couple minutes. There's still some people trying to get in here, so I am gonna let them in. Maybe give it like 2 more minutes and then we'll get started. This isn't going to be too long. Like I feel like I've got some fire motivation for you guys. The topic I'm going to be speaking on today is I talked to Tommy and I asked him like what he felt like the agency needed as a whole that we could talk about today, whether or not that be ALP, because I know we're trying to finish this month out super strong with ALP. But you know, being that February is going to be a huge month with recruiting, I feel like that would be, you know, we both felt that that would be a really good topic to talk about. You know, because I know that that's something that a lot of people, you know, naturally feel really nervous about and don't really know where to start. So I'm going to give it 1 more minute. There's just a couple more people. I think we've got everybody in so far. How's everybody doing this morning? Everybody looking good. I love it. Yes. Okay.
What's up? What's up?
Okay. So, you know, I feel like we can we can get started. I'll let, if I see anybody try to hop in here, I'll let them on. So again, we're going to talk about recruiting, have some motivation for you, and then we're going to get into some actual tools and some steps in order to go ahead and get that in order so you can start applying that. So before I get started, I just kind of want to share a story with you guys that happened this morning, which was just incredible. And I don't know if you're spiritual or not, that's okay, but it was such a God thing and I feel like I need to share it. This morning I had an agent that's still in the pipeline. Like he's not necessarily an agent with our company yet, but he's gonna be amazing, absolutely amazing. So you know, he called me this morning, or actually last night, and he reached out to me and he said that this in particular individual who's going through training right now and getting their pre-certification, she's just very down. And you know, just she's really struggling. She's got too much going on in her life right now, and she just doesn't think that she just thinks it's too much. So, you know, would I give her a call? I said, absolutely. She was on my, you know, my list to call anyways on Friday. So I'll give her a shout. I actually had her reach out to me this morning. She shot me a text message and she was like, hey, you know, I have before 9 a.m. is the only time I can really talk. And it was 8:50. I just literally had got my kids on the bus. So I was like, I got like 7 minutes because it was really 8:52 and I'm gonna call her real quick. And so I just crossed my fingers. I was like, hopefully she answers. So she answered and you know, I was like, hey girl, you know, what's up? How's everything going? Just checking on you. And she said, well, you know, I told this individual that I'm just really struggling right now. Got a lot of life happening, really busy, and I just don't think it's going to work out. And I said, okay, I understand. And she said, you know, I think that this is like a full-time position. There's just no way, you know, with my situation to go into a job that is commission, strictly commission, and leave, you know, what I have, which is stability. It just makes me nervous. I don't know that I can do that. And I said, okay, hey, I get that. I completely understand. You know, she told me a little bit more demographics, not that much into detail. And so, you know, I told her, I said, let me share something with you. I'm a single mom. I have 2 kids. They're both very involved in sports. You know, and in addition to, you know, we have school, we have a lot of stuff going on. And, you know, I have my goal is being top producer, you know, every month, and I'm in management. I juggle a lot of things in regards to that too. And I still make my kids a priority and I'm very present with them. Okay. I have a lot of quality time with them. So you can definitely do it and make the transition. Okay. That's something you can definitely do. Guys, my point is, I shared with her that, when I first came into the agency, when I first got my license and everything, I had a lot of adversity, a ton. Um, and I shared with her like my personal story that, I was going through a divorce and this, that, and the other. And, I was able to do it. I was able to get it done and, excel. And she took a minute. She was really quiet and she just broke down crying. And she was like, you know what? Thank you so much. Like I got off the phone and I was in tears because she was like, thank you so much. You have no idea, because you did it. That inspired me that I can do it too. And I'm gonna, this is my plan, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna get it done, I'm gonna get it done in a week. And so my point of me telling you this is, as we're talking about recruiting, you have no idea how much this opportunity that you have can impact somebody's life. And by you doing it through any adversities that you're going through, or however you do it, that's your personal story, you're going to be able to impact and give somebody else hope. That's what she told me this morning. She goes, you gave me hope that I can get through this situation and I can support my family. That's powerful, guys. That's why we do it. That's why we do it. And I said, I'm not going to get emotional on this call, but like, that's deep. So I need you to think of this as more than just like a job, more than just money, more than just income. You need to look at this as this is powerful stuff. You can make an impact. Do you know what I mean? Can I get an amen? But seriously, so I just wanted to share that with you guys real quick, because that was incredible. And it so hit home on the topic that I wanted to talk to you guys about, as to why this is so much bigger than just us. Okay. So the first thing I want you to do, if you all have your notes, is I want you to write down why, like the word why. Why are you doing this? Why is this important to you? Okay. Is it that it gives you more money? Is it that it's gonna give you more drive? You're locked in. Okay. Why do you want to share the opportunity with people? What's the point? You're in it because you're doing it for yourself, because you see the big picture. You see where this can take you. You see what this opportunity gives you, what it gives your family. But what is the purpose in you, honestly, what's the purpose in you recruiting and sharing this opportunity? What's it going to do for you? Is it going to keep your people locked in? Is it going to give you purpose? Okay. So just write a couple of those things down. So what you want to determine is, who needs this? Okay. You need to take some time and think about, who do I know that could use this opportunity? Okay. Now, there might be a lot of people who need this opportunity that aren't going to work for it. That's just real talk. But, but think about it. When you start looking at this in a not so, money aspect, and you're looking at this like, I just want to help people because I know what this did for me. Who can I help? Who needs this? And you have the heart, people will line up. I mean it. I promise. I've seen it happen in multiple times, not in just this company, but in other things that I've done too. Okay. So we're going to go back to the notes as far as that, but just a couple tips. Guys, you want to have personal development. I will talk about this all day freaking long. Personal development. And not just to make you a better person and make you stronger, but guys, you are going to get hit with adversity. If you're not going through it now, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but it's coming. Okay. You're going to get hit with it at some point in time. So you want to be mentally prepared to, when you get hit with that adversity, you're like, I got this. Legit. Try to break me. Try. Okay. That's why personal development is so important. And it's going to make you a better leader, because as you're recruiting, you need to be able to pour into people, and you can't pour into people if you don't pour into yourself. Okay. Facts. Watch what you're saying to yourself, guys. Seriously. I get in my head every day. Legit. All day long. Doesn't matter what I accomplish. I'm all in my head. But, you don't want to say, I'm not good at recruiting. I don't even know where to start. I don't know how to recruit, so I'm not going to do it. No, you need to tell yourself, flip that around. I'm learning tools to be a better recruiter. I am learning to do this, and I can do this. Okay, it starts today. Now, in addition to that, you need to speak that into existence. Okay, you got to believe in yourself. If you don't have that belief factor, just go ahead and put the pin down, because it's not gonna work. It's not gonna happen. Even if you don't believe you can do it, you got to trick yourself into believing that you can. Okay. You got to tell yourself, I'm going to get 5 recruits this week, and I'm going to start on Saturday, and I'll have them in by Friday. Okay. Watch the magic happen. Okay. Life is going to throw you curveballs, but you need to be prepared. Okay. And then lastly, before we jump into this, what I want you to do is you want to make sure that you watch who you surround yourself with. Okay. This is huge. I look back at a time where I was surrounded by individuals who subconsciously put me down, and I didn't think that I was smart enough or that I could do it. Okay. And I didn't. But you learn. Okay. So you gotta ask yourself these questions. Is who you're around, are they making you better? Are they motivating you? Is that relationship motivating you? Is that relationship gonna help plummet you closer to that goal, to your destiny, to your vision? Or is it making it foggy? Are they help contributing to that self-doubt? Because you already got that yourself. You're contributing to your own self-doubt. You don't need anybody else doing that. So watch who you surround yourself, and pay attention to those relationships. Okay. And guys, there's going to be days where you're going to think, why bother? I don't feel like recruiting. I don't feel like sending out these text messages. I don't feel like, I'll double up tomorrow. Have you ever thought about that? I do that all the time. I'll double up tomorrow. I don't feel like it today. But the thing is you're not going to get back today. Okay. It's not worth it. I'm going to throw in the towel. I'll do it tomorrow. But here's what you need to do. Okay. Because when you have those days, because you're going to have those days, you're going to have them probably 7 days out of the week, honestly. And so you want to write down on your notes, one, because you're going to look back at this and hang it on your mirror, put it somewhere. This is going to be what you go to, your go-to when you're feeling like that. One, why do I deserve it? Why do you deserve it? Okay. Number 2, what value is this going to bring to your life? What value is this going to bring to your life? Is it more money? Is it the opportunity to make an impact? Is it going to give you purpose? What value is it going to bring to your life? Okay. And this is what you're going to pull out on days where you just don't feel like doing it. Okay. Maybe you sent out a bunch of messages and you got hit with a bunch of no's and you're feeling defeated. You got to go back to why you're doing it. Okay. And that's going to drive you to keep on going. Okay. All right. And third is you're going to know that there's going to be setbacks. You got to prepare yourself for the no's. You got to expect the no's. Okay. As you're sending out messages, you're reaching out to people, you're going to get hit with adversity. That's just what's up. It is. Okay. So you got to expect the no's. And when you get the yeses, it's like, yay. Yeah. Every no is going to bring you closer to that yes. Okay. That's facts. But just be prepared and have that mentality so that when you get the no's, it doesn't set you back. It just makes you more excited to go for that yes. There's a quote by Isaiah Thomas. So I don't know if any of you know me personally, you know that I'm like super big into basketball. My son's huge into basketball. You can watch my stories. He does like massive training. I'm so proud of him. He's 8. He's legit. He's getting there. We're working towards the Nike team in Cleveland. But there's a quote by Isaiah Thomas, and it says, he said, I'm either going to shoot us in or I'm going to shoot us out. But either way, I'm going to keep shooting. Okay. I'm not going to do nothing. That's his quote. So regardless of if he causes them to lose or he causes them to win, he's going to go out shooting. Okay, and that's a mentality you gotta have. You gotta keep sending the messages regardless of the no's, because all you see is that vision of, you said that you made a commitment that you were going to have 5 people. You can't stop until you get 5. Okay. All right. So where to start? And guys, I don't know it, and I'm sure you know this, but I'll get to it with where I'm going to. Where to start? You want to list 10 people. Okay, start here. List 10 people. Who is the center of influence? Okay, your center of influence people. And your top 10 people. Tommy actually shared this with us, and I thought it was fire. It's freaking fire. I was like, I can't wait to implement this myself, and not just implement it myself. I want my people to implement this. This is easy. Do you know what I mean? Okay. And really think about that. If you don't know, I want you to scroll through your phone, and then I want you to look through Facebook. Most people have Facebook. Honestly, how many friends you got on Facebook? Think about that. Some of you have like 500, 600, 1,200, freaking 2,000. You telling me out of 1,200 people, you can't, I bet you out of 1,200 people, there's 300 people that would say yes to this opportunity. And I bet you out of 300 people, about 200 of those people are going to sleep tonight praying for this opportunity that you got. Real talk, shame on you for not sharing that with them. It is so easy to get up in your head. And previously I was a director with Mary Kay. And I would tell my girls all the time, honest to God, who are you to take this opportunity from somebody else by deciding what is right for them? That's selfish. Because you don't know what they're going through. You don't know what their financial situation is. You don't know what they're going tonight praying for their family. And you got it right here. And you're not sharing it because you're all up in your head. For real. I'm guilty of this too, all the time. Oh, she looks like they got it going on. They don't need this, or she wouldn't be interested in this. Who am I to say what she would or would not be interested in? That's messed up. So you got to get out of your head. You got to ask everybody. Leave no stones unturned. You got 1,200 friends, you better send 1,200 messages. And you better have a goal and a strategy behind it as to how many messages you're going to send a day. Is that 20 a day? 10 a day? And I don't want to hear, I don't have any time. I don't got no time either. It takes 30 minutes to send out 20 messages a day. Wake up 30 minutes earlier. You can figure it out. Go to sleep 30 minutes later. But I think I like wake up 30 minutes earlier. Okay. And you can get into a routine. I do that every morning. Typically. I too need to clean my act up. I'll be real. But waking up every morning 30 minutes earlier than you're supposed to, or 45 minutes earlier than you're supposed to. You could knock out 30 messages a day. I'm terrible at math. What's that? 150? If that, I'm not even close, don't judge me. 3, 6, 9, 10. That's a lot of people. We'll just say that's a lot of people. Math is not my forte. I'm good at many things. That's not it. But you get what I'm saying. Get into a flow of it. Okay. Guys, friends and family. Think about who you know personally. That goes along with what I just said about going through your phone. But dude, social media is such a huge tool. Why, if you're not using it, why are you not using it? And honestly, I'll post in both of the groups what I personally reach out, and I will do something like personal first and then short and sweet to the point. Hey, I was just thinking about you, and your family. I thought you probably already have, something set up in place, but if you and John could benefit from this, let me know. I'd love to help you out. It's not salesy, because that's typically what most people think. I don't want to come across some sort of way. I don't want to be salesy. It's not salesy at all. I've had more people reach out to me and say, thank you so much regardless if they have something in place or they don't. But thank you so much for thinking of me. I feel honored that you thought of me. There's people thanking me. So it's really all up in your head with that, and you'd be surprised how many people don't have life insurance. Seriously. And Sheila could go and get into a wreck on Thursday, and had you not been in your head and shared, the insurance with her, like this, I'm getting off topic here, but had you not shared that with her, then, she would have been covered. Same thing with going back. I'm getting off topic. Same thing going back on topic with recruiting. Sarah could be in a situation at the end of the month where they're going to lose their house. They wouldn't have lost that house had you not been in your head and shared the opportunity with her, and she'd be making money, wouldn't be in that situation. Okay. It's important. All right. So social media, there's a couple of different ways that you can do it. You can do it by sending out that message. It's not the message that I just said about life insurance. That's a good way to get personal ALP, and you should be doing that too. But as far as recruiting goes, I have one of those as well. I have a couple different ones. I'm more than happy to share them into both of the groups. Okay. You just copy and paste. You put it on your story. Maximize those stories. People look at that. I don't ever feel like scrolling, but sometimes after I've done my my personal development, had my Jesus time, and I just need like an outlet to just something to do where it's thoughtless, I'll swipe through the stories. Most people are looking at those these days. There's, I know Gio, I know Vince, I know Tommy. They've all shared things that you can post on your stories. We can reshare them so you have them. That's huge, huge. Okay. But those are the 3 biggest things that you can use. I guarantee you have 5 people by Friday. Okay. But I want you to create a list of 10 people and give it to your manager. I'm not going to tell you when to give it by, because I kind of feel like that's their place to do that. And right now we're focusing big on ALP, but I'll let them reach out to you and tell you what they want to do as far as when, but go ahead and start on that. Because guys, in addition to your why, you feel like this is, purposeful and you need to do this. Another way to do this as far as recruiting is when you have personals come in. Now, your manager is going to be doing the 3rd interview, okay? But when I do my 3rd interview, and you got to be careful. I'm speaking to you personally when I say this. I ask, because I have people that come in, and when they come in with people, okay? We're not just like recruiting, we're recruiting a squad, okay? And what I do is I ask them, I say, listen, your first 3 months are your most important. If you are in your first 3 months and you're not recruiting, what are you doing? Seriously, that's a lot of money you're leaving on the table. You have a $750 bonus with each person you bring in. Do you know how many people how much money that is? I saw that right off the bat. Huge, 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 huge. Because I was like, you know what? I want to come in with 10 people before I even start. That's $7,500. I did that math. Boom. That's huge. So you need to have a goal. If you're in your 3 months and you can get that, that's huge. And then after that, your months after that, it's $250, which is still freaking awesome. Do you know what I mean? You need to be, that's a whole different way of big time money that you're just leaving. Unless you just don't care about it. That's fine. But guys, this is huge. So, you can even kind of help with that with your people that are coming in. Hey, I don't know much about the opportunity. You don't want to say too much, but what I do know is that, everybody that you bring in, you get a $750 bonus on top of commission, on top of what you're personally doing. I've never seen anything like it. How freaking amazing is that? Don't you know those people are going to tell their people, they're going to get people, they're going to get people. It's going to start like a rippling effect, and before you know it, you were at 0 and now you're at like 10. Okay. So these are like huge, powerful tools that I feel like can really help. I have had, a couple managers who've asked me as far as like implementing people coming in and then building right off the bat. We can talk about that if you have any questions. but I know it's kind of different whenever you're an agent. Usually your manager handles the third interview, and that's where I personally do a lot of that for them. But there's ways that you can implement this too, and kind of go up to your manager, hey, I have a personal. Hey, guess what? He's got a personal, she's got 2 personals, and she's got 3. Yeah, it's pretty cool, pretty awesome. So I told you guys I'd try to keep this kind of short and sweet. I wanted to bring some fire and motivation and then actually give you some tools to like implement it. I don't like to over talk too much. I want to make sure I give you something though that you can take away from the table and implement. So I would like to give this time to open it up if anybody has any questions.
Austen, I have a question. So when you're reaching out to your people on social media, is that what you're saying, that you say like the sweet, short message about thinking of them and their family for the opportunity, or were you talking about that for more so getting them covered?
So that was more so getting them covered, and I went off on a little tangent there. I'm not quite sure why I did that, but that's important too.
Okay.
um,
To them, like reaching out to them on social media, because I know like sometimes I feel like I'm struggling where they'll want to know more about the opportunity, and I'm trying to just get them passed along, right? Like to do the initial interview to find out more. But a lot of times, like I'm getting almost some resistance. They want like a straight answer, and I'm losing them like off the bat. So like, what do you suggest that you say to like get them hooked and want to still move forward with that, even if they're comfortable and they're feeling like they're not getting a straight answer?
yeah, absolutely. So I was just looking to see if I could find an example of what I've sent. Recently, I've been doing a lot of recruiting with our team and helping them, not so much personally myself, but I can tell you something that I would say. And if you want to write this down, again, I'll share it to the group so you can copy and paste it, makes it easy. But typically what I would say would be, hey, Christina, how are you? It would normally always be something personal, because the last thing you want to do is just come in straight for the kill, because I mean that's icky and it hits people sideways. They don't know what to think. So, hey, Christina, how are you? Something personal. I saw that you just recently got engaged. Congratulations. I'm so excited for you. I just wanted to reach out to you. I just started a new career. We're at a rapid stage of growth right now, and I'm entering into a management position. And with that they've got me looking for individuals with these qualities. What you can expect is, generally I say, around a 6K figure. You have the opportunity to make, because you don't want to just promise people that, because it's not promised, it's not given. You got to work for that. 6K opportunity to make 6K a year. 6K, what am I talking about? 100,000 plus 6 figures. And or who do you know who would be interested in making 6-figure income, have the opportunity to work from home, so work remotely, someone who has really good people skills, self-motivated and driven? I know you know a lot of people. Who do you think would be a good fit? I was wondering if you could help me out. Obviously, I just came out with that just now, so it probably needs to be tweaked a little bit so it sounds a little bit better than what I just said. But you get my drift. That's what I would say. Okay. And I would try to call, it's better if you could say this in person. Hey, Christina, you know what? I had something on my heart. I was wondering if you have a couple, just 5 minutes that I could give you a call. I have a quick question for you. Get them on the phone. That's what you say. They're going to ask a ton of questions. Well, what is it? Well, how, what will I be doing? You know what? I don't want to stop you right there, but I'm new, I'm just starting, so I don't want to say the wrong thing and like mess it up. But I'll tell you what, I can get you in touch with my manager. Okay. He'll be able to answer, she'll be able to answer any questions that you have. Okay. Because I guarantee you, instead of them giving you a list of names, they're going to say, me, I'd be good at that. I'd be good at that. But it's an approach, a backdoor approach. Because if you go with them, like, hey, Christina, oh my gosh, I have this opportunity and you'd make so much money, you'd be great. I think you'd be good. Like, what do you think? I feel like it's social media. You take all that stuff, people already feel attacked. Do you know what I mean? They already have their guard up. But if you go with them with, hey, I know you know a lot of people, who do you know that could really benefit for this opportunity? Or who do you know who'd be good at this opportunity? Every single time, every single person I've said that to, me, girl, me, every single time. So that's the verbiage that I would use. But again, I'll post it in the group. Good question.
Thank you. And then, okay, one more going off of that, and then I'll let someone else ask. So then when they come back and they're saying me, then you mentioned like, oh, I didn't even think to ask you because it looked like you were, okay, yeah.
Yeah, you're exactly right. I didn't even, you know what? I was thinking that, but I know that you have a lot going on. It seems like you're happy with where you're at. So I wasn't sure. I didn't want to overstep my boundaries. But you know what? Now that you say it, girl, you'd be great at this. Meanwhile, I was going for you the whole time.
Hey, Austin, I have a question. I don't know. Can you hear me? Okay. First off, just want to say, congratulations on all your success. Definitely been inspiration to everyone, so appreciate it. But just want to ask you more of a question related to like your sales process, not really recruiting. So sorry for going off topic, but when you're sitting down, and obviously you're virtual, and I know especially on Zoom, I feel like it's important to try and not be in the sit for too long. Obviously, you want to see a lot of people, but I feel like on virtual, it's hard for people to, stay focused and attentive the whole time. So I was just wondering, like, do you build like a solid 15-minute rapport typically at the beginning, or is it something you do throughout, or like just in general, like how long do you think your like sales process takes throughout like a Zoom sit?
Did you say 15-minute rapport?
Yeah, 15.
Okay. I thought for a minute you said 50. I was about to say, well, that's the first problem. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, so that this is kind of hard to answer, but not at the same time, because I don't want to like offset anything that your manager has coached you to do personally. But what I do is I build the rapport throughout. Okay. Because the longer that I feel like I personally take with individuals, members, when I'm talking to them, I'm going to lose them. And they appreciate you being respectful of their time. You know what I mean? Because they have things to do. They're going to get frustrated. That's where you start seeing people getting frustrated when it's just too long. They're like, oh my gosh, I'm like that too. You only have my focus for so long, and it's nothing personal. It's just like I'm ADD. I can only focus on things for so long. So I build the rapport throughout. I mean, I build rapport in the beginning too. Like, you don't want to just say like, hey, Sheila, I'm Austen. Like, let's get into the benefits. You definitely want to build a little bit of rapport, but most of the rapport, we're having fun, because in that way you're building the rapport throughout. I personally feel like with my experience, that's where you're keeping them involved. You're keeping them excited. We're making the needs analysis and the, whole/term, we're making that fun. Which I think is going to have a higher success rate on your sales too, as far as a higher closing ratio.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. These are good questions.
Hey, Austin, I have another question for you there. So I'm trying to see what your best approach would be to establish control on Zoom, which is something that I'm kind of struggling with more than being in person. Obviously, in person, you can use that more, but on Zoom, it's kind of hard get that control or get them shying away from short answered questions.
Okay. Do you feel like you get nervous? Do you feel like you kind of get nervous when you're doing the Zooms a little bit at first?
I honestly don't. I feel like I loosen up mostly, but they kind of look at it weird. They kind of see it like, why is this guy so happy? Or like, why is he trying to get to know me? You know, they question it, like, and
Okay.
it feels like a trust barrier.
Okay, that's what you feel like you're getting, and then you're losing their focus. Okay. You know, I don't think it's anything that you're doing personally. As long if you have confidence in yourself and you come across confident, then you know, obviously you're gonna have their attention because it's like, hey, I know what these are your benefits and I know what I'm talking about. I know these and you need to listen to me. Okay. Like gaining the control as far as like you know, I'm sure you know your manager taught you like, do you have a pen and piece of paper? Can you repeat that quality control number for me? You know, those little things that you can do. But obviously making sure that you build rapport with them a little bit, but not too much rapport, because I think sometimes when we build too much rapport, then they start being like, okay, what's this about? I'm sure
Yeah.
you've heard that saying there. What is this about? Can we get to the point? So making sure it's not too much, you know, rapport. But
Okay.
no, I don't think it's anything that you're doing. Just make sure that, you know, you coach yourself up, you know, that you're in control and they know that you're in control, and that these benefits are important. And the more knowledgeable you can be with the benefits, the more you're going to sell yourself.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. I hope that helps.
Hey, Austen. It's Jay. I got a question here for you. And you know, I do appreciate the time that you're putting in to answer these questions for us in detail. So as far as consistency with business, how would you say you handle staying as consistent as you've been with just, you know, consistently putting up numbers and just making sure that you always have clients on your schedule? How do you go about like making sure you're always busy with that and still making time for your kids and everything? Like you got a lot going on. So how do you like manage all of that?
That's a really good question. And I typically always speak on that whenever I have the privilege. First of all, I want to thank you guys for giving me the privilege, and Tommy and Gio too, and really everybody for giving me the privilege to talk. Cause like, I love talking. I love speaking. Anytime I have the opportunity to speak and pour and, you know, give advice, like I really appreciate it. I really do. Not to go off topic there, but I did want to make sure I said that. I appreciate y'all giving me the time. But as far as consistency goes, you know, I think there's times where it's easy to be like, I don't feel like doing it today. It's just not, I'm going to put it all, I'll double up tomorrow. I've said that more times, but you know, not doing that. If you're consistent with the same thing every day, because when you do that and you put something off to the next day, or you slack off and you don't make as many calls, maybe you make 30 calls on Monday, you don't make any calls on Tuesday, you make 160 calls on Wednesday, 150 calls on Thursday. Well, maybe Wednesday and that particular Thursday wasn't a good day for people and you didn't really have anybody pick up. Do you know what I mean? But if you were consistent every day, you know, doing, you know, not just calls, but implementing what you know that you're supposed to implement, you'll have the numbers every week, but you have to be consistent with it. That's the key. Now, I personally have a booker because I believe in delegating. Because I know personally, there's no way with me being by myself and the responsibilities I have for my kids, no shot would I be able to, you know, train my people, recruit people for my people, recruit my own people, and then do the obligations that I have for my kids to make sure that they're getting good grades, they're doing what they're supposed to do in sports and all that stuff. So I delegate what I can, and I invested, you know, which is always a scary thing when you invest because you know, you might not have the funds at the time and it's like, oh my gosh, but I truly believe in doing that You know, Tommy made a comment when we were in the meeting yesterday about DoorDash, and I've never done DoorDash, believe it or not, because I was like, oh, that's $5. I can go get it myself. But I didn't have any time. I had no time yesterday. So I did the DoorDash and I was like, oh my gosh, I'll never freaking go get food ever again myself. So it's just implementing investing, because during that time that it would take me to go get it, I was able to get 5 people in a company overview. And out of those 5 people, we got some studs. So like, you got to look at delegating that time, not necessarily telling you to get a booker. If you have the time to do it, you know, nobody's going to do it better than you. But you know, that's just, I hope that helps. As far as being consistent, you just want to make sure that you're doing everything regardless of how you feel, whether or not you feel like it or not. You got to be consistent every day, and even have it mapped up. Like, you need to have write your schedule the day before of the most important things, and then make sure you get those most important things done first before you do anything else. You know, and just being organized with it. And if you implement the same thing every day, you got it. Everybody in this agency is talented. I've seen every single one of you pop off. And you can pop off consistency. You can be a top producer. Easy. If you just believe in yourself and you're consistent and you do what you need to do, because it's not hard. It's really not. You're going to get no's. You're going to have people who are just, excuse my French, assholes. You just are. You know, but you just can't get in your head about it. You can't even focus on it. I had somebody who was today that they're like, I'm not interested in the opportunity. Yep. Okay, next. Too bad, because you'd be making a lot more money here than you would be with what you're doing, but you know.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Did that help?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
I have a question here, Austen. Hey, it's Faith, by the way. Back to like kind of like recruiting and stuff. Like, I have some friends that, you know, I've been kind of like planting some seeds with, like talking to them, like even before we even really got into recruiting scripts or saying anything to them. I just like, yeah, I have this new job, whatever, like I like it. They see me doing well or whatever. Except I have some people that like have been in the pipeline. Like, one in particular, he like had his first with Vince, and then like he like didn't go to the company overview because he has a kid, whatever his excuse was, you know. And so, but he's not the only one where like I like have these friends who are like, yeah, I'm interested, and they like reached out to me about it as well, like the opportunity. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll get you in touch with my manager or whatever. Except then when it comes to them like actually talking to Vince or Matt or whoever, like it's like wishy-washy. I'm like, okay, when are you free? And I'm like, I don't know if that's a sign, like if they can't even answer my text about when they can have a phone conversation, if it's even worth it. But then at the same time, like you're saying, like, who am I to like take this opportunity from someone if like maybe that what just wasn't a good time? Like, I don't know if I should keep in like trying to invest in them or how to like go about that. Like, if it's been kind of a little bit of time where you're trying to get them in the pipeline, they say they're interested, but then nothing's actually like coming into fruition.
Right, that's fire. That's really good. So what I've learned is sometimes you can want it more for an individual than they want it for themselves. And the only person that ends up hurting is you. And it sucks because you see it, you know what this opportunity does, and they don't, you know that they don't know it. So you want it for them. So you're like, hey, when are you available? You can't do it. I saw that you missed that. When's the next appointment that, you know, when's the next time that you can talk to him? He's really excited. We believe in you. But you can't, if they don't see it themselves, or if they don't like see an opportunity that could change their circumstances or, you know, better their situation, and they're not willing, and they're giving you the runaround and Vince the runaround, I can guarantee you, if they come into the deal, they're gonna be a worse headache than they're worse. So I would focus, and I mean that in a very nice way. I would focus on the next, because you're going to waste that time with them that you could be putting into somebody who sees the value in it. I've done that a lot of times.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Austen,
It was such good
I
question.
have another question for you. So how would you go about offering this opportunity to someone that's currently either invested in school or looking to like get their diploma in like a 4-year college? And yeah, that's pretty much it. That like, you know, I don't want to take away their dreams just to have them follow mine, but at the same time, I don't want to ruin whatever they had started to start something new, even though I know it's going to be 10 times more beneficial for them in the long run.
I think it's perfect for people who are in college and, vice versa. Because, typically, I don't know, it doesn't really matter if you're in a relationship, but typically they don't have kids. So you're not responsible for other people, so that frees up like a lot of time. They're not in class 24/7. Typically, most people are done with school at a certain time during the day. They have all their nights available. So yes, we want to have people that are committed 100% and looking at this as a full-time job. But sometimes some people just need to get their foot in the door. And I'm able to, go to all the functions as far as sports, that, the kids have and, take them here, there, and implement, time with them so that, they're just as equally a top priority as my work. So if I'm able to do that, somebody can implement this in addition to what they're doing initially, and if they want it, they'll make it work. I'd say give that opportunity to everybody. And if they want it, they'll make it work. It's a perfect way for them to make extra income. And then too, what I tell them is that in addition to that, by the time they get out of school, they can have residual incomes. So they're starting their career with money already coming in that they have, every month that they can depend on for not even doing anything for work that they did while they were in school. That's fire.
Thank you.
Go recruit a whole college with that tactic. That's a good idea. But that's a really good question.
Hi, Austin. I do have one question. I made a Facebook post the other day about the job opportunity, and I posted it in one of the groups that I'm in. And I got really destroyed by people saying that it was like an MLM, like pyramid scheme. Like I just like didn't really know what to say back other than like every job has a hierarchy. And I was just saying like I'd rather have a boss that was more invested in me than just like clock in, clock out and just like, go about their day. So I was just wondering like if anybody has ever said that to you, like what do you say back to them?
Well,
people like it was like I tried to like comment to one person like saying like you don't understand like the opportunity, but it was like compounded.
What type of group was it that if you don't mind me asking?
Honestly, it was actually the bartenders page from Chicago. And I also did it in EDM Chicago as well.
Really, those are really good. That would be a really good group, honestly. Because you got people that they have great people skills. That's smart. So the first thing that I would say in regards to that, yes, I've gotten that a lot of times because with the other companies that I've been with have been projected as that theory of an MLM pyramid scheme. And I think anybody that has that mentality, I can guarantee you they're probably not very successful. I don't know what the issue is with that. I think it's very ignorant, to be honest, because, how that's portrayed, which this is not, the only way that individual that is, I wouldn't say they're not above you, but like the only way that your leader's going to move up is if they move you up. Do you know what I mean? So it's like extending a hand to move up together. So in the normal society, you're competing with people. You're not having somebody help you move up into a better situation for yourself and your family. Those individuals are competing with you, and it's ruthless and it's nasty, and you don't really have a very good percentage. Not everybody has a good percentage that they're going to get, that advancement in their career. So I would rather be a part of this where I have somebody invest in me, and I know that the only way that they're going to go up is to bring me with them. And that's what I want to do. I don't want to go up by myself. I want to bring people with me, you know, because that's what it's all about. So, you know, I just think people who make comments like that are just kind of, I'm not gonna say stupid, but I think it's just ignorant. They don't know any better. So I wouldn't take it personally, because you know, that's their mentality. But you kind of felt like it ruined it for other people who might have been interested?
Yeah, because I had 5 people message me, and but like right after they messaged me, there were a bunch of just guys. Like there was one Primerica guy that was like, she probably works for Primerica, and was just like, it was like that one guy who said one bad thing, and then after that, like a bunch of people just started doing that, and then I texted those people back, and then they never got back to me. So it was like that one guy started something so negative, and then everybody else just kind of fell through. So it was just, but my post was removed because it was there was like a lot of conflict that was going on, so it was like I couldn't even do anything. But
well, listen, there are so many trolls out there, and they just like to be trolls, and that's what they do. They have nothing better to do in life but to just troll around and see what kind of just negativity they can bring. So that's why I think making those posts in addition to, I wouldn't solely go with the post, because most people aren't even going to see it. Do you know what I mean? I think there's a whole logistics when I studied this, as far as like, if you're not posting a lot on social media, more than half, like 3/4 of your entire friends list, they don't even see, flip this over, they don't even see your activity. Most people, not all of your friends are seeing your stuff unless you're posting on a daily basis and they're getting it. There's a whole like logistics with social media, and when you try to learn how to recruit efficiently and different ways to do it through social media. So the best thing is to do is put it out there on your story and on your news feed. But the best way you're going to get this is reaching out to people individually, because then you can't have any sideline trolls running their mouth. Yeah, and don't take it personally.
Yeah, honestly, I was just like, okay, whatever.
But it's frustrating, because I've seen that happen before, and that's why the only reason really why I have social media is for recruiting.
Thank you.
But good job with that.
Austen, I have a question for you just about, it's a little bit off topic of recruiting, but just because I'm starting out, I'm curious about the struggles that you had when you first started and how you overcame them.
Okay, let me make sure I got this right. The struggles of how I first started and how I overcame them. So struggles is like, as far as, let's see. You know, I was really nervous. Like, I think the first like 2 weeks when I first started, I wasn't really I was so nervous to part ways with Gio, because I was like, man, I felt confidence like whenever I was with him, you know, even though, you know, he was sitting there and he wasn't saying I was pitching, he was there. And so when I was by myself, I was like, oh my gosh, like I was all up in my head. And so, you know, I was trying to have the script down to a T, which you got to have. There's reasons why it's important for the script to be in place, because what we have, like this opportunity with the unions, that's huge. That's huge. There's nothing like this. And you could say the wrong thing and completely to the wrong person and ruin the whole deal for the entire company. So it's so important. But I think after you have it memorized, you know, for me, just kind of making it my own, as far as not sounding super, because I was sounding very robotic, you know, and I had to take, you know, all the factors of what we're supposed to say and the way we're supposed to say it, but I had to make it Austen. So that was something that, you know, kind of really helped, and it made my sales really skyrocket and make them more consistent. Yeah, so I think that's the biggest thing. And then not worrying about the no's and the people who are rude, because just like Marissa was saying, I mean, there's just nasty people that are just like, and I won't say that they're just nasty because they're just jerks. Some of them are, but you know, some people are just going through life, and it's their season where they're just getting hit hard, and it's nothing against you personally. It's just that, you know, maybe something really, really bad happened that day. They're having a bad week. So you can't take it personal. It's easy to get in your head when you're on call night and maybe you make like 150 calls and you only book 2 appointments. Or maybe you make a ton of calls and nobody answers. It's super like discouraging, but you got to focus on, you know, the result. And honestly, there's been days where I have gone Monday. I think whenever I had that, it was I don't even know, it was like a 10 or 15K week. I didn't write any of that till Friday. I had people no show me, and I worked every single day. I drove up to Chicago. I had people no show me, reschedule left and right. But I knew what I had committed to. I knew I needed that, and I wasn't gonna not hit it. Hell or high waters, you got to have that attitude. Hopefully that helps.
Hey Austin, I have a quick question for you. So when you're training someone and like, you know, they're starting out, because this is scary. I think it's scary for everyone in the first couple of weeks, you know, just like you said, it was for you, it was for me. How do you keep the people you're training motivated and positive throughout the process, even on those nights? Because when they have those nights when they make 150 calls and no book an appointment in the first couple of weeks, it could make or break that deal for them. You know what I'm saying? So how do you keep their mind in the right place?
Dude, Thomas, that's fire. That's a great question. So I keep it fun. We have fun. Do you know what I mean? So they can't, like, they might be discouraged, but I want them focusing on the fun of this because it is fun. Dude, we have the opportunity to sit with people and we don't even have to leave our freaking house. Do you know what I mean? I get to see people, and a lot of times there's so much depression. If you look at the statistics with people who are going through depression, who are the suicide rate, like all that stuff is at an all-time high. You know, people, just as much as they won't say it, they need to socially interact with people. And this could be the only social interaction they get all week. Do you know what I mean? So I found that a lot of people are excited to meet with us. And I'm excited to meet with them too, because I like people. So it keeps it fun. And I just tell them, though, the biggest thing when we have setbacks is like, listen, Thomas, I know that this, like, hey, I get it, dude. Like, this is like super discouraging. We just made 150 calls and like nobody answered, or we just made 150 calls and we booked like 3 appointments, or we had 5 people on the schedule and nobody showed. Oh my gosh. You know, it's frustrating, but I'd rather have this stuff happen when we're together than you face this opposition when you're not with me. Okay. Because real talk, this is going to happen. You're going to go through it. I'll be honest, because I don't want you to think that this is all peaches and cream and it's all going to be rainbows and Skittles every day, because it's not. But when do you have the opportunity? But honestly, and this goes back with recruiting too, I'm getting off topic, but I promise I'm not. Where do you have an opportunity to step into a job where you can make 6 figures like that? No, there is nowhere like that. And I'll be honest, like I went to a tech school. I don't have like a legit college degree. Never would I have been able to jump into a career and make a 6-figure income like that I knew nothing about, I had no background about. So, you know, just having that belief factor in them and encouraging them and letting them know that, like, hey, it's going to happen. I'd rather it happen, but we're not going to focus on that. Tomorrow, we're going to do this. We're going to blow it out.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
This has been incredible questions, guys. Thank you for this. I don't want to, if anybody has any other questions, I know we're getting on like an hour here, but I do want to give anybody the opportunity if you do have any more questions.
Yeah, I have a question. Awesome. So you speak a lot about personal development, and I'm just curious, like, as a new agent, like, what do you think is like most beneficial when it comes to like personal development? Like, I know you say getting up early and stuff like that.
Getting up early. And so I read one of my favorite devotions, which I'm about to start doing it again. I have it on my Kindle, but I really want the book because for other reasons why I want to have a book too. But I'm going to start it on Monday, and it's called Jesus Calling. I've done that before, and dude, it's freaking life changing. It's amazing whenever you it's like takes about maybe like 15 minutes to read. But when you have and I don't know, you might not be spiritual and that's okay, but like when you have a scripture that hits home with how you're feeling or something you're going through that week, I mean, that can be the biggest thing ever. And then I have different things that, I'm reading currently. I can give you a couple of different people or different books if that helps. Let's see, Cardone's really good. The one that I'm about to read, and I just don't want to massacre it here, is going to be 21. Let's see. Somebody can probably. Oh, John Maxwell. John Maxwell is amazing. 360-degree leader. And I just ordered this book too. I'm going to actually start this on Monday as well. The Laws of Leadership. That's John Maxwell too. And a lot of times what I do, because I'm like auditory, I'm a visual, but I like to hear things. I really don't like reading, just to be honest. But Les Brown, I'll say this, I've said it 100 times. Les Brown is one of my favorite motivational speakers, and I listen to him almost every morning. Him and Dr. Miles Monroe, those two guys got me through some of the hardest times in my life. And